So you asked, when are you going to die? And I replied, well, hopefully not anytime soon. But that's probably not the whole truth. But there have to be a warning for this video as it contains pictures of a 60-year-old dad bod. So if you don't want to see that, please click away now.
Let's dive into Outlive by Peter Attia. I'll ask questions about its themes, ideas, and how it resonated with you. What inspired you to read Outlive? Did you approach it out of curiosity, or were you looking for specific advice on health and longevity?
Well, being a father of three small children, 9, 6, and 3, and being 60 years old, longevity is obviously a very big concern of mine. I want to be around to see my kids grow up, and I want to be fit and healthy while I'm doing that. And I'm on the slippery slope to old age and problems that really are part of growing old.
Peter Atia emphasizes the concept of medicine 3.0, focusing on prevention rather than treating disease after it occurs. How did you feel about this approach?
I think that approach is really more applicable to my children rather than me. I'd want them to grow up being fit and healthy with a view to the future of staying fit and healthy. And for me, it may be already too late. I have the signs of coronary heart disease. I've got massive lumps on my lung. I've had eye problems in the last couple of years. And, there's been a few health scares which have really brought home the fact that I need to look after myself going forward.
Were there any specific chapters or topics that stood out to you? Maybe something about the four horsemen of chronic disease or his focus on mental health.
I'm reading the book really through two lenses. The first is about me personally. How can I improve my fitness, improve my nutrition so that I've got longevity and a good health span? But really, the other lens is what do I need to do now as a parent and a father to educate and bring up my children so they are fit, healthy, and eating well throughout their lives so they have a long and healthy health span. So, taking that into account, the two main areas for me are, you know, mental health, my own mental health, and making sure that my children grow up to be resilient, independent, and don't suffer from mental health issues. And the second is nutrition, and that's improving how the family are eating and eating well, and really focusing on putting good meals on the table.
Ataya talks about exercise being a key component of longevity. Did his perspective on zone 2 training or strength training change how you view your fitness routine?
What Peter's book has really opened up for me is I really need to do more weight training, build up some muscle. I've never really liked going to the gym, and lifting weights is the last on my list of priorities. In my 20s, I played a lot of squash and football, but injured my leg, and then I took up running to really build that strength back up, and I got hooked on marathon running, and so I've run 36 marathons, and I would say a lot of that is zone 2 training. When the lockdown came in, I bought a bike and I'd been doing quite a bit of cycling, which has helped with injuries. Um, so zone 2 is very familiar to me, but I really have to put the effort into building some upper body strength.
What's one practical change or habit you've adopted or plan to adopt after reading Outlive?
Well, that's quite simple. I really do need to hit the gym, hit the weights, and build up my muscle mass. Looking back at my diaries, I think that in my early 30s was probably when I was at my peak. I was around about 80 kilograms, and I would say 5, 6 kilograms of that was muscle, and the rest, a bit of fat as well. However, right now I'm 72 kilograms, and I would say that my proportion of body fat has gone up, and I've lost quite a bit of muscle mass. So I really need to put on 2-3 kilograms of lean muscle to make a big difference.
If you could recommend this book to someone, who do you think would benefit most from it and why?
There's two groups that I'd recommend it to. Firstly, obviously my children, so that they are primed for a good health span. But secondly, motorcyclists. Motorcyclists tend to be older generation, 50s, 60s and older. And I think that a lot of motorcyclists do need to think more about getting some proper exercise instead of driving around sitting on a motorcycle. And I think looking at the demographic, looking at the people, middle-aged white fat men that I meet when I'm out, it's an obvious group that needs to read this book.
Feel free to pick any question or share your overall thoughts.
It's not a lack of information that is my problem. I need to get out and do the exercise. And that is the crux of it. I need to get out and do it. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for listening. Join me on the journey to hopefully a really fit 60-year-old.